Hey, everybody. I'm just taking down notes for the timestamps. Welcome. Happy Thursday. Welcome to Oracle Talks. All right. And so as you come in, feel free to say hi. Let us know where you are watching from. And let us know what you are drinking, if anything. I have some water right now. No tea today, or at least not yet anyway. There's always tea, right? One second. All righty. And if you could please, as you do come in, please go ahead and like the video and subscribe if you are not already subscribed. If you are subscribed, you can click the little bell icon and it will give you notifications of when I go live. I mean, I pretty much am really only here Thursdays at 10 a.m. Pacific time, but sometimes, you know, we forget. So it is what it is, right? So let's re-fluff. The weather's in like this weird, like about to rain, but not rain. So instead of like the humidity hasn't fully come in yet. So it's like dampening the poof, but it's all good. Anyway, I hope everybody is doing well. I hope that you are actually doing better now that we have cleared a lot of the intensities of the eclipse, Uranus going direct, and the Saturn-Pluto conjunction, which basically we've actually been sitting in for a minute, but the official day was on Sunday, right? So yeah, hopefully everybody is doing, thank you. The little things, right? Ooh, vanilla coffee. Is that with a, what creamer are you using for the vanilla? Because I can be a coffee fanatic myself. The Nature Bliss from Coffee Mate is so good. Yeah. Anywho, oh, what was I about to say? I forgot. It's all good. Ooh, arugula grilled cheese. I can't do the cheese anymore though. Just gunks up the system. If it's in like little bits here and there, like it's fine. But yeah, no more cheese. All right. So quick announcements. I was gonna say something until I forgot. Oh, I know what I was going to say, which I can bring up again in the astrology portion. But right now, all the planets are direct, okay? But they're not going to be direct that long. Whereas, you know, last year and the year before, we had about a good 3, sometimes 4 months of all the planets direct. That's not going to be the case. So for the Northern Hemisphere folks, we are in the middle of winter. So a lot of that get up and go, definitely the expectations around that definitely need to be mitigated. But in terms of forward moving energy, we are going to be riding in that until Mercury goes direct, which will be in February. I believe it's like sometime mid-February. Let me actually double check to give you the exact date. So it's actually very short, like only a couple of weeks. Yeah, it's like February 17th. So we really are only having like a month of all the planets going direct. So again, for those things that you know are, you know, foundational to the next steps that you have for this year, if the timing is appropriate for you to take the necessary actions on certain things right now, do that for these next couple of weeks. And then, yeah, we're going to start the slowing down process. So just as a heads up, we don't have as much of all the planets direct as we did before. So and I've mentioned this before, but like a lot of the energy this year really should feel like a true continuation of last year as opposed to like a fresh new start. All right. So just as a heads up on that, let's see, took my lunch late to be here. Oh, that's so sweet, but also like eat. listen on the YouTube app or on your what you call it? 60-degree weather and sun from Charlotte. Yes, nice. Oh yeah, you are eating right now. Okay, sorry, I just didn't read the full comment yet. Yeah, I think right now it's gonna be around that. It might be slightly higher today here in LA, which would be good. But it's actually gonna get up to 70 on Sunday, which is amazing. Espresso coffee and just organic 2% milk. Oh, okay. Coffee with oat milk. Everyone's doing coffee today. Is everyone tired? No, I feel you. I'm not tired, but it's just like it's winter. Like, this is not summertime flow. Like, chill and ride the energy. Okay, so let's get into announcements real quick. We're right at 6 o'clock or 6 minutes. So if you have not already read the newsletter that came out this week for the Saturn-Pluto conjunction cycle for this next 33 years, I do recommend reading it. It is like hella esoteric and metaphysical because it's all about the progression of consciousness. But it's something that's good to kind of watch and pay attention to. And it is a reading for humanity as a whole. So it is a stretched out timeline because it's billions of people we're talking about, right? As I mentioned in the newsletter. But just know that that doesn't necessarily have to take that amount of time for you. But it can give you a sense if you're trying to look at what things that might be popping up for you spiritually in your own awakening process for how the progression can kind of go. And as you'll notice in that channeling, the bulk of the time that you will spend will be in that 4D space before the 5D will really open up. So check that out. I will be doing a spirit / lightworker forecast over the weekend, and this will be for the Aquarius season. And I think it will just be on a zodiac sign basis. We'll see. I'm not sure because I normally do the forecast at the beginning of the month, but it's going to end up being like right as we're coming into the Aquarius sign. So I'll check in with Spirit to see what that's going to be. We'll be able to look out for that. That'll be coming out next week, probably Tuesday, because it's a holiday weekend. What else? Save the date for some events in February. So February 15th, which is the day after Valentine's Day, I will be doing a love and astrology class at the Salt Lounge. Why cannot I say this? Salt Lounge in Long Beach. And it will be live streamed. So if you're not local to Southern California, you can also live stream it. And that's 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So it'd be 8 p.m. on the East Coast. And then, and that class is only gonna be $20 because it's just like an hour and a half. It'll be short and sweet because it's Valentine's Day weekend. And then on the 18th is a radio interview that I have on the Mundane to Magical Summit. And if I remember correctly, I did put the registration link in this week's newsletter, but definitely starting next week and beyond, it will be there. So if you'd like to listen on that, you know how these online summits go. You have to sign up and, they send you all the emails, but you can check that out. And then I will be doing another Night with the Oracle event in March for the spring equinox. And that will also be live streamed, and that will be that Saturday of the equinox, so the 21st. That should really be magical because that is also, of course, when Saturn is in Aquarius. So I expect that to be really yummy. Kimberly Rose, we're doing jokes now? Okay. Any other announcements? I don't think I have anything else. So let's get into the astrology for the week ahead. Okay, so today is the 16th. So today is the day that Mercury actually goes into Aquarius, and I'll post about this tomorrow on Instagram and also on Facebook. So be on the lookout for that. And let's see, Friday, so tomorrow is when we have the last quarter or third quarter square moon in Libra. So this is going to be the last of the moons in the cardinal signs. And then, of course, when we have the next moon phase, we will be shifting into the fixed energy because it'll be the Aquarian cycle. So basically, starting from Friday through the new moon is a great time to work on releasing and clearing and all that kind of stuff. Let's see, Saturday, we do have Mercury squaring Uranus. Okay, so 2 degrees Aquarius for Mercury, and then 2 degrees Taurus for Uranus. And that probably will bring some good inspiration and ideas. I love Uranus transits, especially when it involves Sun or Mercury. But it's more like it might be beneficial connections that pop up. Again, creative ideas, breakthroughs, and inspiration. But also possibly like insights coming through from higher self, higher levels, etc. Let's see what's popping up next. We don't need too much. We've been going through a lot already, right? Monday is when the sun moves into Aquarius. Yay. And then Wednesday, we have the sun squaring Uranus in that same 2 degree aspect, just like Mercury did. Okay, so that might be another blessing opportunity or inspired idea, creativity popping in around that time. Okay, but otherwise, it's a pretty quiet week. And the moon, for the most part, will be traveling. It's in Libra today. So go Libra, Scorpio, Sag, and then we'll be in Capricorn by the time we have Oracle Talks next week. Okay, so you can see where that's going to be transiting through your chart just to get a sense of what the moon might be highlighting. And remember, the moon is like your emotional energy, that kind of stuff. So, oh, I'm not doing a Q&A right now. I might have time at the end. But if that's the kind of question that you're having to ask, this probably is not the channel for you, to be honest. It's not a belief thing. It's a lived experience thing. So, but welcome regardless. All right, let's see what the color is for the week. I'm ready to get into the channeling though, because I already got a heads up that we're going to channel the Cassiopeian, or my higher aspect of Cassiopeians. So let's see. So everybody take a few deep breaths. And ask the Holy Spirit for guidance on what color is best supportive for us for this upcoming week as we are in the final days of Capricorn, making the shift into Aquarius season and coming out of the eclipse and Saturn-Pluto conjunction. All right, well, these came out really clearly. Silver is on the bottom, number 27, be persistent. Beautiful. Azure came out again, and purple. Azure we've had before. That actually came out for winter solstice, so I'm glad that that popped up. Azure is that protect yourself energy, which I do definitely recommend with the last degrees of Capricorn that we're in. Purple for mental clarity. Gorgeous colors. Purple is 39, of course, which is a 12. Azure is 36, which is a 9. So let's read Azure again. And we will also go through this exercise together. And I'm actually really glad this came out because since I'm going to be doing this higher star channeling, we're going to need this extra protection anyway. So, so focus on the color. Okay. Clear blue sky. Azure purifies your aura and strengthens your connection to the divine, leading you to discover your truth and empowering you to make important life decisions, or life choices, excuse me. Immerse yourself with azure rays to protect yourself from negative, dense energies and to find your center. And so the exercise, and we will do this together, so go through the visualization with me. Breathe in azure rays of light to feel safe and secure. Imagining an azure bubble of light that surrounds and protects you. So breathing in the rays of light into the lungs, as well as a bubble of light surrounding and protecting where you are right now. And then say this to yourself. I ask divine healing light to surround me with love, peace, and healing. Please bar any dense energy from entering my space and affecting me. Thank you. You can do this for yourself and your loved ones whenever you would like some added protection. But this is feeling like for yourself today. Whereas I know from before, you went through with everybody else, but this is very much coming through as a protect yourself. Okay. And then the purple, developmental clarity. Purple helps with eyesight, hearing, and bringing back a sense of smell. Clears mental complexes, negativity, and inflammation. And aids with rheumatism, pain, and the healing of bones. Creating a connection between your mind, body, and soul. Purple also brings positivity and success. Use purple to clear your mind and let go of negativity. This is the exercise, so you can follow along with this. The first part you might have to do later, but you'll get it. Light a purple colored candle and focus your attention on it. Become aware of any negative thoughts or feelings you are experiencing, saying each aloud as you burn the candle. Imagine the negativity being consumed by the flame of the candle. Then say the following statement: Divine intelligence, please delete this negative thought from my mind, body, and energy field. Now focus on creating a positive state of mind. Say positive affirmations that can help you feel more inspired and peaceful in your life. Say, Divine Spirit, please install thoughts and feelings of clarity, peace, and gratitude. Keep practicing this exercise until your mind is purified of all negativity. Beautiful. Let me look at this silver real quick, because this is another 9. Silver is also great for purification. I'll just read the message, not the exercise. So card number 27. Silver is the color of peace and persistence, calming nervous tension, bringing serenity and expanding awareness. Silver also strengthens the healing process through purification, releasing diseases and density from the body, and flushing toxicity from the blood and tissues. This includes healing the kidneys and balancing hormonal function, as well as bringing clarity. Silver is also great for protection and grounding. Strengthen your intention and resolve with silver rays of light. Awesome. So what I would like everyone to do is actually focus back on this azure bubble and focus on breathing that color in and out of your lungs, as well as strengthening and expanding the size of your aura bubble to about 2.5 to 3 feet out all around you. And I will be back 1 second. Let's get into our channel message to see. The Cassiopeians. Just to know, I'm just going to pull the card to keep my focus. There, that. Keep breathing that azure color. Okay. Was there not a card in here for that? I thought there was. Let me go through one more time. Doesn't have to be. Oh, guess there's not. Why did I think there was a card in here for that? Or I might have mentioned it somewhere else. I don't remember what card that was, though. That's fine. I need something as a, well, I would like something as a placeholder. Okay, I think we're actually going to go with that. I do want to find, because I have it on my mind, so I'm going to look for more that is mentioned there. How's everybody feeling with that azure color, though? Also bring in that purple color. Do the heart and high heart. both the actual lungs, or excuse me, well, the actual organ of the heart as well as the thymus gland, in addition to the spinal column. Breathe that purple light, purple flame. I don't even know why I'm obsessed with this. It's all good. All right. Maybe we'll stick with that. Okay, everybody doing good? Any quick energy questions before we jump in? What's on card 41? Not sure where that is in my mind. Oh. Okay. I feel like the silver card was more meant for me, and maybe I missed it, but did it say how to channel that energy? I didn't read the channel message because it's the colors that are for this week are these. The silver is just for grounding energy. Silver is always good though. Okay, so my aspect is here. Ah. Okay. So let's see why I was called to this star race specifically. What's the message for us for this week overall? And then we'll get into how this may play out in our lives. Okay, so this is a message about purification. Purification through karma balancing. Emotional maturity and objectivity is the name of the game, it looks like, for us. And really, yeah, just really having to watch those emotions, because there are, I mean, this has already been coming up before about how we do have to be on guard right now, because there is a lot of, well, they're giving me specifically dark forces messing with the mind. So as I was talking about before, that kind of devil energy within that we're having the battle, it's still present, and the soul is still dealing with that. And this is what's throwing the emotions all over the place. So emotional maturity and emotional objectivity is really the thing. We do have to keep our guards up, and we do have to keep taking the higher ground. When things start getting too personal or self-centered, it's a no. That's an indication that it's lower energy. Because there's still a lot of emotional clearing that's happening. Whether it's something related to a actual thing, or just a general sense of emotional unease and restlessness, that's part of the thing, because there's a balancing out that's happening. And this is at the oversoul level. So this is definitely a universal message. There's a lot of balancing happening there at those higher levels. And then, of course, necessarily a balancing out that is happening here on the human level. And this is about our spiritual mastery. So this heavy Saturnian energy in Capricorn, in particular, like these later degrees, are really kind of like wringing out a lot of stuff that needs to get forced to the surface to be cleared. Because what it's pointing to, again, is low-level, darker energy that we're still battling. This Nine of Swords. We may think it's our stuff, but it's really just shadows of stuff that's still trying to be played with for manipulation. So you have to be on guard and keep yourself in check, because again, it's an internal process. Now, obviously, everybody around you might not be that conscientious or might not be watching Oracle Talks. So people might just be, in their stuff. Ultimately, you're responsible for how you handle yourself, right? As we go high, the deeper this energy, the lower the energy has to go to uproot for clearing. Which really just means shifting more and more out of separation consciousness to unity consciousness in general. But there is a bit of a hijacking that's still in play right now, which is interesting. Like, there is actually a lot of spiritual warfare still going on. But it's like, it's real low key. Real low key. So if you've been having trouble sleeping, if you've been noticing that your mind has been looking for ways to get attached to projections or scenarios, or like whip up feelings so that you can get some kind of dopamine hit, some kind of emotional charge. Know that that's the spiritual warfare. Like that addictive, obsessive quality is what this is doing. And it's because so much has been purified karmically and energetically, a lot of the fuel sources are being and have been depleted, or access points even. So, it's grasping, it's trying, basically it only knows to do the same thing over and over again. So keep staying focused on the goal of higher consciousness, of showing up with personal and spiritual responsibility, and let that get starved out, whatever that is for folks. Because it's still not fully jettisoned yet. And obviously this would take time for the collective. But we are big. We're not just, this individual human incarnation. So again, it might not even be necessarily something that is related to experiences that you're directly having. It just might be patterns that are showing up, and you might just be like, okay, why is this even coming? And it just might be other aspects, particularly astral level, that are needing clearing. Yeah. All right, so let's go a little deeper on this message, please. Yes, starving it out. I wasn't given the that saying about the two wolves because it gives the impression that you have things of equal power and equal presence, and it's actually not true. Anything that's of the dark forces or the separation is necessarily lesser than. Now it can wreak, ridiculous amount of havoc, but ultimately, over time, it necessarily has to be transmuted and submit to the divine. But it's just a time thing, right? Okay. For those of you who are new to me, when I'm yawning, it's not because I'm tired. I'm changing out the spirit energy. Yeah, we really do have to stay on guard. It's just like, it's point blank. But the path is the emotional maturity. This is literally the action we have to take. Queen of Cups. Emotionally balanced, clear, pure. Being clarified by, so I knock down all these cards. Being clarified by the High Priest, okay, the Hierophant card, which is Taurus. Now I'm getting that this is also the support of the physical body to help give you feedback on whether or not you're actually operating from a true, clear, and grounded emotional space, or if there's ego or other stuff in play, okay? Because there will be tension that is triggered or activated in the body if it's not actually of your truth, of spirit. Spirit always brings peace. So getting really clear about what the yeses and what the nos feel like in your physical body is going to be really important for additional information if you need it, if you still have difficulty figuring that out. And if you have difficulty connecting to what's coming through in your body, definitely start up a yoga practice. Okay, restorative yoga would be great, especially if you're someone who has experienced a lot of trauma or has a lot of high stress in their life, because that will help to deregulate and also help the body to process and move the energy. For most people, things won't stay stuck in the body forever if you do actually give it attention. It might take a while, but for most, it can move. You're not going to be stuck with it. Yeah, and the divine is protecting us with that emotional maturity too, with the King of Cups. There's a lot of lunar energy here. I have Queen of Cups, Queen of Swords, and Queen of Pentacles out. So we have a hidden Empress here. But the Queens are also the moon energy too. And underneath the Queen of Pentacles, which is at the center, is the actual moon. And wow, underneath that is a star. And underneath that is the Ace of Cups. So, yeah. But it's just a lot of water. A lot of water. So the emotional maturity with the Queen of Cups and the Queen of Swords. So this is the Queen of Swords is how we are showing up right now collectively. Now, the positive aspects of the Queen of Swords is somebody who holds appropriate boundaries, but also stays open and objective and sees things clearly and stays operating from a place of integrity. The negative sides of that, though, is somebody who can be cold, defensive, fly off the handle, really sharp and biting with the tongue, et cetera, et cetera. So watch that dance, because that energy, the Queen of Swords, can flip pretty quickly. Just as the Queen of Swords, all the cards, all the major arcana have positive and negative. But given that there is such underlying conflict, that you may or may not be consciously aware of, know that that is playing a role. Okay, but stay in the heart. It's interesting in the environment with this Five of Wands. I know I was talking about that conflict, but this is very much so interpersonal stuff. So that's most likely where it's going to show. You probably still will be feeling it internally, but there might be external stuff popping up. Okay, but again, Queen of Cups, emotional maturity. Emotional maturity. Stay solid and grounded in self, as well as get your emotional needs met yourself. This is not the time, truly, this is not the time to be trying to get emotional needs met by another, okay? So if this is something that's coming up with friends or romantic partners, I'm not sure that folks really have a lot to give, right? Because everyone is in this space. It's all kind of a little messy. It's all kind of like in flux right now. So it is our individual responsibility to take care of our own emotional needs right now. Give yourself a break. Give your partners or friends a break right now. Because everybody's doing the best that they can. It's not you, it's not them, okay? Give the space. And hold your ground in yourself. Anytime there is deep healing work that happens, it does really take time for the dust to settle and for the integration to happen. This isn't integration energy, though. This is still like battle and clearing energy. So we're not in integration yet. That might come more so towards the end of Aquarius season, because I don't know if this energy is really going to shift that quickly once we get into next week, to be honest. Because this has been pretty persistent over the past couple of weeks once we got into Capricorn season, right? So they're bringing my attention back to this azure bubble. And I know I mentioned this last week, and I believe I linked to that winter solstice video, but they're bringing my attention back to this. So even if you didn't watch last week's video, if you didn't go back and watch the winter solstice one, it's fine. But the azure bubble for self in particular is really important. Now, if you have the mental capacity and the wherewithal to extend that to loved ones, friends, etc., the world, that's great. We actually went through that process for that video, if I remember correctly. But the non-negotiable is the personal at the very least. Okay? But don't beat yourself up if you don't have the capacity to go beyond that. But try if you can. I mean, stretch. Because it's ultimately not you doing the work, it's the divine, right? The subtle, this is exactly what I've been experiencing. The subtle warfare is factual. Yeah, it is really, really subtle. But it's an internal thing that is being caused. This came out again, the Nine of Swords, by this. And this is long-standing stuff that's kind of been hidden. So it's like, if you've ever really been serious about doing cleanses in your life, you know that you really have to go in stages if you're going to do like an overhaul of the body system, right? Because as you go through different stages, and there's more clarity that occurs, it's easier for the body to release toxins that might have been there for long-standing time, stuck in, the tissues or, different little crevices and stuff like that. If you've had any kind of like yoga practice for a while, you know that, initially when you start, like it's really rough, and then you get to this nice place, and then you start coasting, and then the body starts to get tight again as well too once you start really going deeper, because it's going to go to the next level. So it's like that. It's like the levels of healing, but this isn't, like I said, this isn't personal generated. It's opportunistic energy that has latched on to personal stuff in the past that's still trying to feed or like have its hold predominantly, right? So, but that's where the mental maturity has to come in. And the emotional maturity, the higher perspective, I should say, and the emotional maturity. Defend the cosmic heart within. Keep your heart open. This energy, Queen of Cups, is not shut down. Okay, but that's again this message from the high priest, the Hierophant, about the groundedness and the connection to the message in the body. Do a check-in throughout the day. Am I holding my breath? Right? That's usually the first sign that we're not in this open-hearted space. Are my shoulders tense? Am I clenching my jaw? We bite down and clench our jaw like so much throughout the day. Am I holding in my back? Am I keeping my abs engaged so that my spine is nice and tall, or am I collapsing down into my back and not supporting myself? Like check in. Do I have my feet flat on the floor, or am I keeping my legs crossed the entire time and cutting off circulation and energy flow? Being open does not make you susceptible. Being lacking boundaries does. You can be open with boundaries, and that is the wisdom and the message of the Queen of Swords. Not necessarily this image, the one in the Rider-Waite deck, but you get it, right? Let me find that image just so you have it as a reference, because folks might not know the deck. If you're new to tarot, you might not know it. So, okay. Open with boundaries. Open hand with the sword in hand, which is also the sword of truth. But open with boundaries. Okay. And she is looking to the future. I'm not a fan of the word vulnerability because it is packed so much with weakness. So I would say intimacy. Okay. You can be emotionally intimate with somebody by still having boundaries, because it's really just you being authentically yourself, being loving and caring, regardless of what other people are doing. Doesn't mean you need to be BFFs with everybody. You don't. Doesn't mean you have to like everybody. You don't. Doesn't mean you have to hang out with everybody. You don't. Right? But your job is to show up as you in the space in your life. Not as a reaction to what's going on, but as a expression of what you are. You are the informer of reality. Okay? Not informed or conformed by the world. I don't want it to get biblical on y'all. I know we talked about this. Okay, so let me check in to see if we are able to maintain this and do this over this next, I'm getting coming weeks, not week. So yeah, we're gonna be in this process for a little bit, which makes sense, to be honest. I don't really think this is gonna shift until we get Venus and Mars out of Sagittarius and Pisces, which, let's actually check in. That might be end of February. I don't know why my voice went that high. It might be in March. Oh no, it's February. Yeah, so basically the second half of February, more likely than not, is when we'll feel that energy shift. We'll see though. Let's, 1 second. And if I need confirmation, specifically Mars in Capricorn, which is what I was saying. So let me get that exact date, since that literally popped out. So it enters on February 17th. So basically from that point on. So up until that point. So essentially the next month. We got to stay in this space. We'll probably keep getting these similar colors, because if you notice, and I mentioned this before, these bluish tones have basically been predominant, and I think they're actually going to be predominant throughout the year because it's cosmic heart centered, and also this purple color, violet, indigo is popping in and out as well too. All right, yeah, so confirmation, 3 of Pentacles, Knight of Pentacles, and then the 4 of Wands, which is Venus going into Aries, which is what I was talking about as well. And that is, yeah, I mean, basically this is the healing process. And I have the Sagittarius card on the bottom. So yeah, this square between the two, this loose square of Mars and Venus between the galactic mother and the cosmic heart energy from the Piscean energy is what's here. So Mars and Venus. And Knight of Pentacles is healing. So it's Knight of Pentacles is the slowest moving knight, but it is a knight that relates for me to purification and healing of body, mind, and spirit. So it is the slowest moving knight because it is doing full transformation, but it is the knight that is the most successful because it sees things through the end and it completes the cycle fully. So success is assured with this process, but this low level warfare thing, I guess, is just going to be going on till then. So stay up and on top of that. Let's see what the outcome is. Oh, that came out quick. 10 of Swords. Yep. Breaks through, completes that cycle. And we also got Ace of Pentacles and the Lovers, and we got 4 Cups on the bottom. So this work, what's happening right now is literally the last stages of what is needing to occur for this North Node through Cancer transit. And then we're actually going to be, the energy is going to be shifting and preparing for the North Node transit into Gemini. And that is going to be a new path. And that's the Ace of Pentacles for that new path. And the node shift in May. So March, of course, we have spring equinox. 6 of Wands underneath that 4 Cups. So yeah, success in that process. But yeah, basically this is, like I said, clearing the way for this next I'm getting the word fruitfulness of the new path. So you've heard me talking about this new timeline that most of us shifted onto, and that was coming through a lot of that Ace of Wands energy, which is all the new spirit beginning stuff. And what's happening now is, of course, that clearing and balancing of karma and emotional and mental maturity is grounding in so that it now can get physicalized moving forward. So it looks like the physicalization of that process, like what the actual effect of what that essentially Christ embodiment is what that, or a lot of what that the Gemini nodal transit for that 18 months is going to be. So we might actually feel like our new year begins around that time in the spring, actually. Well, the new energy, because for me, the spiritual new year was autumn, but in terms of the nodes, I'm getting the sense also too that a lot of the contracts by that point will be solidified because things are very much in flux with people right now. Family, friends, lovers, all of it, right? Coworkers, business partners, collaborations, like all that stuff is still very much in flux right now, as I'm sure you feel and see. But by that point, that actually should stabilize. Let me get additional clarification on this. Yeah, 3 of Wands. Then it'll be time to grow. 9 of Wands. Okay. So stay the course right now with that. I did get a heads up to check in on love and money real quick. So let's see. Am I staying with this deck? I think I am. Let me shuffle these first before I figure out what spread I need to do. Any questions on that stuff though that just came through? Yeah, this is going to be general love message first. What's the spread? Okay, so this energy is actually shifting more Andromedan. And I want to say thank you to the Cassiopean aspect for stepping forward. I'm getting a message again about staying within your energy resources. Okay, watch how the mind likes to take you beyond what you actually have capacity for physically, emotionally, or mentally, or spiritually. Stay in your timing and pacing, not what your ego is projecting. Okay, no questions on that stuff. Cool. Couple more shuffles. Okay, so this definitely is Andromedan. One of the things I forgot to mention in announcements is I will be doing a stage 1 check-in for the Divine Lovers of the Mars-Venus cycle that began in August. So that will be the specialty video for February. So if you want to see what's happening and what's scheduled to unfold, definitely be on the lookout for that when I make that announcement. It might be a good idea to go back and rewatch that video, and I will try to remember to link that. Let me write this down in the description box below when this gets uploaded so that you can go and rewatch it. Okay, love messages. Yeah, again, emotionally, overall, for the most part, we're stable and grounded, but the mind is all over the place right now. So we really gotta watch that. All right, so we're showing up with Jesus, take the wheel. Can I survive the physical without susceptibility? What do you mean by that? Susceptibility? I don't understand. So we're showing up with the 2 of Cups. That's what we're presenting to the world, right? But 7 of Cups is what's going on behind, 7 of Swords, excuse me, is what's going on behind the scenes. So messy mind, messy consciousness. So we're not as peaceful as we would like to be, but, you know, given what we just talked about, makes sense, right? The other, okay? Whether you are already in a committed partnership, dating, have a person of interest, or single and looking, but there's not a person there, and this is just the environmental energy, we have Two of Wands. So there's options, but behind the scenes, Six of Cups. So this is once again, I got like a ton of messages. I need to focus. Oh, so the focus. For those that don't have a person of interest, whether it's just a crush or like they're dating or what have you, and they're like truly single and looking, this is saying that there are options and you just need to go in the direction of what actually feels resonant to the soul. So that's just the message for that. For everybody else, where there would actually literally be another, whether there's something established or not, or what have you, for the most part, they are balanced, but you do really have to watch your projections onto them, okay? Because more likely than not, how you are seeing and perceiving things is not correct. Just across the board. So you really, really, really have to stay in that heart space. Do not assume. This is not the time to have expectations. Right? Oh, you're gonna get to practice. And that's the thing, is like you have to practice it. It's a constant choosing. It's a constant choosing. Love and relationships are a daily choice. Think of it this way, like if you're driving a car, this might not actually be a good this might not be a good thing now given our technology, but like if you are manually driving a car, the car cannot drive itself. Like you have to keep your eyes on the road. You do have to continue to monitor how things are going, your speed and all of that. It necessarily needs your conscious awareness throughout the entire process. Now, if you have a self-driving car, I can't use that analogy, right? So you're welcome. Listen. It is what it is, right? So I'm getting confirmation about this in terms of this love energy and just being really mindful of your projections. This is throughout this entire time of that Mars and Venus cycle until we shift, like I mentioned in the latter part of February. Okay, so just be mindful. Things, if they are nebulous or just like kind of sort of irritating or kind of sort of not what you want, like predominantly projection, not actually true. So just stay the course, stay true to self, stay in a place of integrity. Okay, because ultimately we're all good. Because even though this is other energy, you know, for somebody else that's watching and you're the person of interest or the person that you're in a partnership with, this is saying, again, you're grounded, you're stable, but there's still projection that is potentially happening. But more likely than not, that's actually, well, it's not true. So don't assume things and also don't expect things. but also don't like completely disengage as well. Allow for reciprocity. Allow for the process to go slow. Okay, because everybody is navigating these emotional waters. So be cognizant of that and don't unnecessarily get your feelings hurt, right? There's nothing about you. And if you're worried that it is, then ask directly and vice versa. Okay, so money. And then we'll probably, we'll close out. Gotta shuffle more. Any questions on that general message for the love? That should actually make sense to everybody. Again, whether there is another or not. For the folks that don't have an actual person, like I said, you do have to keep putting yourself out there. Okay, this is still the time to be actively engaged with the outside world, and that's not just specifically for the purpose of dating, but also just making sure that you're out having fun, being creative, giving yourself new experiences. Remember, 70-30 of the new versus old. Okay. It's funny because they made me like wear this color today, but I have a feeling turquoise is going to pop up next week. I might be with the Aquafarians next week. We'll see. Conserve your resources. Be mindful of your spending. Yeah, I won't take these. I just need one. All right, I need to drink water because energy's not moving. I don't know who needs to hear this, but exercise. 5 days a week. "30 minutes a day is fine, but exercise. All right, so we got 4 Pentacles, 10 of Wands, and Knight of Pentacles. Again, so there is going to be some forward movement and growth energy happening. Let me see 1 second. I love that all this Pentacles energy is showing up. That means that funds are stabilizing and will, continue to grow. This will or can be a financially abundant year for most folks, even though I do actually think that we'll be having recession. I think it's actually going to be kind of odd that there will be financial growth for some folks. Seems like it's going to be more housing market. Both those things obviously can coexist. So yeah, money is good. But just for right now with this Four of Pentacles, just be responsible with your money. Watch the spending. You know when you're going overboard versus when you're not. Okay, so pay attention to your intuition and your guidance. If you are, trying new things and all that, like, yes, there will obviously be a financial investment for that, more likely than not. But yeah, just follow the guidance of how often and timing and all of that, to still be cognizant of what you have. But needs are definitely well taken care of, and there is a shift into growth. Let me get clarity on this 10 of Wands, though, because that's seeming more like a completion of a cycle as opposed to a block. But I want to know what that might be. It's like this, because I feel like this is actually coming up before about the conservation of resources through the holiday season, actually, specifically, which, you may or may not have done, right? But I'm getting the phrase like holding down the fort for the time being until, I guess, like the energy shifts, and then you'll start to see the growth come in. If you haven't already. And I'm hearing do what makes sense. This is a card of consistency. So staying with what's successful, maintaining that. This isn't a card of like stretching out into something new. It's not a 5. So stay in the parameters for what is successful to you and for you, which again, we've already talked about, right? You're building upon what's successful, but outside of those specific steps that you have to take for the building that might be happening right now, you also don't need to be stepping overboard right now, because the growth will come after the foundation has been set financially, whatever it is that's going on. So planting the seeds or the structure or implementing new processes, whatever it is for the new growth, but it's okay, you get it. A clarification on this 10 of Wands, though. Strength card, Ace of Swords on the bottom. All right, so this is double. Oh, no, it's not double wheel. Oh, I'm hearing the phrase, keep your eye on the prize. Make wise decisions. Yeah, better money management is more so the thing. And then once you kind of like get that lesson, or that really kind of clicks in financially, then you'll start to see things shift. But yeah, this still feels like a setting up whatever needs to be set up to facilitate the growth. Now, this could be as simple as like choosing to participate in your company's 401k if you haven't before. This could be choosing to start a savings program. This could be I don't even know, but you get it. All right. Any questions about that as it relates to your own money? And And then we're gonna close with the Enchanted Map Oracle deck by Colette Baron Reed. Get closing guidance from this. Okay, so we're coming back to Cassiopeia. Closing guidance from, so this is actually from my aspect. Three of Wands, Six of Pentacles. High heart and energy resource balance. Four of Pentacles on the bottom. Stay secure in what is yours. Stay secure and solid in what is successful, what already has been working. The time for a change and shift will occur. But you know what your higher guidance is. You know what your higher path is. Okay, let's stay in your lane. Because yeah, the time for shifting into something new will come next. Five of Wands. So that's the going from the 4 to the 5 is the time for stretch. That's not again outside of what is the assignment, which you should already have known. That will come shortly, but more than likely within the next month or so, to be kicked off possibly in March. Spring equinox time. Okay. All right, so no questions on the money stuff. So let me get this cleared and we're going to get closing guidance. All right. Closing guidance from the Enchanted Map Oracle deck. Colette Baron Reed. Let's see what it is. In Cassiopeia. I won't take that, but oh, I got the Dragon's Lair. That's funny. I think that was, yeah. Card number 19. We've gotten this a few times actually, but I never remember what it's about. All right, so the phrase for this is, you are always protected and divinely directed. You have a remarkable internal warning system that lets you know when things are out of alignment. Weren't we just talking about that? You're about to enter dangerous territory, so tread carefully and be aware of your surroundings, internally and externally, right? The path you're on now is one that will challenge you to the core. That said, peril is also exciting and exhilarating, like the danger you feel before you enter a new relationship, knowing that you'll be changed forever. A life lived fully isn't lived only in safety. A new experience is calling to you, one that will test your courage. The choice is yours, but there is greater value in risk taking than remaining unchallenged. New territories are waiting to be discovered. Okay. So that is our message for today. Perfect time. All right. Reset this. Awesome. So this was lovely, y'all. Thank you for joining me. Enjoy the rest of your week and transition into Aquarius season. Be on the lookout for the next newsletter. And I feel like I'm missing something. All right, I'll just close out with a short prayer. So, giving thanks to Mother, Father, God, and the angels of light, and the higher realms, and the star races for their help and support and protection this day. Thank you for divine healing lights, the color rays that came through here for protection, peace, love, and healing on all levels. Thank you for the guidance over our lives so that we may continue to walk our highest path and be way shores of reality, love, and truth. Help us to stay centered in our hearts, connected to our breath, and emotionally responsible for how we show up both for ourselves and for others. Let this be our prayer today and every day until next time. So it is, so be it. Amen. All right, y'all have a wonderful day. Right, I feel like I was going to see you tomorrow. I'm not seeing you tomorrow. Have a wonderful day. And yeah, God willing, I'll see you next week. And I most likely will do an Oracle Talks next week. Just because of how the month is playing out, I'll probably do, I should have enough time to do the videos the last week of the month. So the last week of the month, I won't do Oracle Talks, but I think I actually will still be fine. Oh, where's my calendar? I should be fine energetically to do both, or to do Oracle Talks next week. But let me just check, because I definitely don't want to overload myself. Yeah, that should be fine. That should be fine for next week. Cool. All right. Love y'all. All the best. And if you want to get, of course, the 2020 year ahead forecast for any signs, or the astrology forecast or the spiritual forecast, you can go to my website, andersonalchemy.com. I will, of course, have that in the description box. Those will be available throughout the year. But starting, of course, for February, I'm going to go back to the monthlies. And the 2020 forecasts are available to view and download. Actually, all of them are available to view and download. So that is that. And yeah, cool. All right. Love y'all. Peace.